This is gonna have to be a spoiler, I'm sorry. So spoiler alert for the end of book 4. Okay, so I wanted to let you guys know that the ending for book 4 is open for interpretation. Whether you think that Janner comes back to life or not, it's open. And I'm not saying this as like this headcanon I have where I'm trying to invent stuff to make myself feel better, because I'm not even 100% pro Janner coming back to life. I'm simply saying that the author himself left it open for us to decide what we think happens. You know, it literally ends on them going to the first well. So if you think that the water from the first well saved Janner, amazing. If you think it didn't, amazing. Again, this ending is open for interpretation. So if you're feeling like, oh, that would ruin the entire series for me, if you're one of those people, then you can interpret it that he comes back to life. As long as you like think about it and it's not just like a rushed decision, just interpret it that way. However, if you're one of those people like kind of how I am, where I think it makes the story more fulfilling when he doesn't come back to life, then interpret it that way. I genuinely do not really think that he does, simply like for various different reasons, but I'm not close to the possibility. If someone could give me more evidence as to why they think he would come back to life, then I'd totally be more open to it. I just haven't really seen any good evidence or strong points onto why he does come back to life. Most of the ones I've seen are just like the water from the first well heals you, and that's like the only point I've seen. I also, people say it takes away from the entire story if he doesn't come back to life, and I see it the opposite way. I think that the sacrifice really means a lot if he doesn't, and I also don't think that it takes away from the sacrifice if he does come back to life, because Janner wasn't going into his decision thinking, oh, I'm gonna come back to life. Janner was going into his decision thinking, I'm sacrificing myself for my brother. So next time you're like, the whole series is ruined because I know this, or if it got spoiled for you, just be like, maybe he comes back to life. I'm gonna do more research and look more into it so that I can really like have this theory. And if you're fine with it not being canon that he doesn't come back to life, then that's fine. Again, this is one of the things I'm more lenient on because the story ends on a lenient position. People are like, oh, well, won't it ruin the whole story if they just go to the water and get the water from the first well and it doesn't do anything? I mean, yeah, it's going to be depressing and sad, but also Kalmar wanted to try. It wasn't like he was going into expecting it to 100% work. No, Kalmar had faith, and that's why he wanted to try. But I also don't think that their lives are going to be completely ruined if he doesn't. And that sounds harsh, but at the same time, Janner made a sacrifice for a reason, and he saved thousands of people's lives. So don't think of it as a depressing, ruin my life moment. Think of it more as a wholesome sacrifice that I'm still extremely sad about.